Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of claws, rage, moral ambiguity, and mutant lore, you're in the right place. Today, we're tearing apart the new Marvel's Wolverine gameplay trailer from Insomniac Games. Every Easter egg, every subtle clue, every wild moment. We'll talk about the settings, the villains, the narrative hints, and all the design decisions that tell us what this game might become. I'll also point out where things might surprise us or break from expectations. Stick around to the end. I promise you'll see things you missed on your first watch. Let's get into it. Canadian wilderness setting. Right off the bat, the trailer reminds us where Wolverine's soul is rooted in the raw, unforgiving wilds of Canada. We see sweeping shots of snow-capped forests, frostbitten cliffs, and logging camps. This is not just pretty scenery, it's a return to Logan's origins. In the comics, his connection to Canada, especially Alberta and the Canadian wilderness, forms part of his identity and solitude. The trailer isn't just shifting between locations, it's signaling that we'll revisit who Logan was before the experiments, before the betrayals. The wilderness becomes almost a character itself, a silent judge of what he's become. These beautifully framed wilderness shots also serve a second purpose: contrast. They juxtapose the quiet, solitary wilderness against the thunder of combat and chaos that we'll see later. That visual tension prepares us for the internal struggle of Logan, someone pulled between primal fury and introspective wandering. Weapon X. Facility references. Now, Wolverine's story is tightly bound with the shadowy Weapon X program, the secret military project that surgically grafted adamantium to his skeleton, erased much of his memory, and turned him into a living weapon. In the trailer, we get glimpses of blacked-out labs, steel doors with warning signage, experiments in containment chambers, and medical tools. One fleeting frame shows mechanical arms or surgical rigs, which immediately evoke that Weapon X vibe. These aren't just aesthetics, they suggest the game will delve into Logan's origin more than many adaptations do. By hinting at Weapon X in visuals, the trailer is promising that we'll confront the trauma, the secrets, and the betrayal lying behind Logan's transformation. Mystique's cameo, one of the more exciting Easter eggs. Mystique, the shape-shifting mutant, appears briefly, known in X-Men lore as both adversary and uneasy ally. Mystique has a long, fraught history with Wolverine both romantically and as rival. In that short cameo, she seems to shift forms, possibly surveilling or tailing Logan. Her presence instantly adds layers, questions about trust, memory, and identity. Because Mystique can assume any human form, her inclusion suggests that in the story, Logan might have trouble distinguishing friend from foe. It also teases potential plot lines involving espionage, hidden agendas, and betrayals. Sentinel reveal. Ever since X-Men comics began, Sentinels' giant mutant-hunting robots have been iconic antagonists. In the trailer, we see one activate, its eye glowing, its metal plates shifting. It's a menacing moment, the cold, impersonal machinery about to descend on flesh and bone. Their inclusion ups the scale. Logan isn't just fighting men with guns or enhanced thugs, he's facing the infrastructure of anti-mutant genocide. In comic history, Sentinels represent institutional fear of mutants, systemic control, and extermination. Their presence in the game suggests that Wolverine is not just fighting his personal demons, but existential ones too. Multiple global locations: Canada, Japan, Madripoor. One of the most intriguing parts of the trailer is how it teleports between very distinct settings. We've already seen the Canadian wilderness. Then we shift to what feels like a Japanese city: neon signs, narrow alleys, high-rise rooftops. And there's Madripoor, the fictional island in the Marvel universe known for its lawless underworld, pirate bazaars, and mutant intrigue. This montage of locations, Canada, Japan, Madripoor, signals that the game will be globe-spanning. It won't be stuck in one climate or corner of the world. Rather, it will trace Logan's journey across continents, blending atmospheres, cold woodlands, urban shadows, tropical islands. That variety not only helps the gameplay feel fresh, but allows for narrative contrasts. Change from open-world design. If you've played Insomniac's Spider-Man titles, you know they leaned hard into open-world traversal, web-swinging across skyscrapers, exploring nooks and neighborhoods. That was a big part of the experience. But the Wolverine trailer suggests a departure from that. The camera doesn't linger on wide, open city roaming. Rather, action is more directed, linear, focused. The environments look curated, with verticality, tight corridors, and set pieces. While Spider-Man effectively used open-world mechanics for exploration and side missions, Wolverine seems to prioritize tight, narrative-driven movement and combat scenarios. This design choice makes sense. Logan's powers and conflicts are more about close encounters, visceral combat, and emotional beats, rather than leisurely swinging across blocks. It suggests a tighter, more curated experience. Brutality and mature tone. If you had any doubts, the trailer lays them to rest. This is an M-rated game. The trailer doesn't shy away from showing gnarly violence, claw slashes, flesh ripped apart, massive gore. We see multiple scenes where Logan impales enemies, rips limbs, and lets blood fly. This isn't stylized comic violence, it's visceral. Game Informer notes that the game includes extreme levels of brutal violence, and that Insomniac embraces it confidently. It fits Logan's ethos. A berserker fighter, not a cartoon hero. The mature tone is not gratuitous, but thematic, a world dark enough to challenge a character like Wolverine. For fans expecting sanitized superhero fights, this is a firm statement. You're in for raw, unflinching action. Wolverine's unreliable narrator angle. One of the subtler but more fascinating hints is that Logan is an unreliable narrator. The trailer shows fragmented memories, flickers of faces, experiments, pain, but nothing solid. We see him questioning what's real. Logan's memory problems are central to the mythology being adapted. That emphasis matches the trailer's editing style. We are never quite sure which scenes are happening now, which are past, which are manipulated. This suggests the story might intentionally mislead us. Scenes we witness might be false or half-remembered. That narrative device adds mystery and tension. If we, the player, can't trust Logan's perception, then uncovering truth becomes part of the gameplay experience. It hooks us into emotional and psychological territory beyond punching and slashing. Omega Red appearance. Another villain cameo, Omega Red. In the trailer, we see his imposing form, the tentacle coils, the ominous red glow, the menacing presence. Omega Red is a classic X-Men antagonist, often tied to Russian bioexperiments and deadly ambushes. His appearance hints at subsurface threats, conspiracies, and old mutant rivalries. His inclusion is no small thing. Omega Red is often tied to Cold War espionage and biological weapons stories in X-Men lore. Including Omega Red alongside Sentinels, Weapon X references, and Reavers shows the game isn't holding back on pulling from deep comic lore. It signals that multiple villain arcs may converge, each bringing its own weight. The Reavers as villains. In several trailer scenes, we glimpse heavily augmented cybernetic soldiers, blank visors, mechanical arms, glowing implants. These evoke the Reavers, a band of cybernetically enhanced mercenaries who've long been violent adversaries to mutants, especially Wolverine. This means that Donald Pierce, a classic Reavers leader, may also be involved. The Reavers connect directly to Wolverine's dark past. They slaughter mutants, use augmentation, and often work for corporate or military interests. The presence of Reavers suggests a corporate or military-level threat, one that's personal to mutants, and to Logan in particular. Their presence suggests the game may lean into the morally murky border between human, machine, and monstrous. Logan fighting Reavers feels thematic. Flesh versus machine. Free will versus control. Madripoor setting. Madripoor isn't new in Wolverine lore. It's a gritty island known for crime, mutant hideouts, black markets, and low-life politics. The trailer's glimpses, their palm trees, night bazaars, neon crowds instantly evoke the seedy underbelly of Marvel's world. Its inclusion matters because Madripoor is where Wolverine has often operated outside the law, mingled with spies and rogues, and conducted off-the-books missions. It's a liminal space, not quite heroic, not quite villainous. For a story about memory, identity, and shades of morality, Madripoor is a fitting setting. Parkour and motorbike action, switching gears. Yes, Wolverine is not just about claws and rage. The trailer shows him performing parkour, vaulting over walls, sliding down rooftops, fluid traversal across obstacles. Then there's a moment where he rides a motorcycle through tight alleys at speed, weaving between dangers. This is important. Logan is not just slogging through corridors. These movement sequences show that the designers want to integrate traversal into his combat and exploration, not just static arenas. The motorbike chase feels cinematic and dynamic, breaking expectations of how Logan might move. It injects adrenaline and variety into pacing. It shows the devs want to blend speed, agility, fury. Adamantium claws in combat. This is the part a lot of us came to see those adamantium claws in action. The trailer is generous with blow-by-blow footage. Logan slashes, impales, crushes bones. One moment even has his claws driven through a skull. What stands out is not just brutality, but design, bone-cracking animations, debris, motion blur, ragdoll physics. These scenes showcase the claws as extensions of Logan's will, not just weapons. The camera lingers long enough to emphasize weight and impact. This promises the combat system will treat claws seriously with combos, visceral kills, and meaningful feedback. Liam McIntyre as Logan. New voice, new muscle. The trailer reveals Liam McIntyre as Logan's voice actor and motion capture actor. McIntyre is known for roles in Spartacus and also voiced J.D. Phoenix in Gears of War 4 and 5. His casting suggests the developers want someone who can deliver gravitas, fierceness, and emotional nuance. This gives us confidence that Logan's voice will carry burden, regret, anger, not just grunts and growls. Given the memory trauma hints, Logan's speech needs to evoke uncertainty and broken trust. McIntyre's experience in muscular, emotionally resonant roles could prove ideal. Story focus on memory and trauma. Throughout the trailer, one of the themes tying everything together is Logan's fragmented memory and trauma. We see flashbacks of experiments, torn lab notes, half-remembered faces, and jarring transitions. This tells us the narrative arc is likely psychological. Logan must piece together who he was, what was done to him, and who he can trust, if anyone. It's a classic character journey, but with the twist that Logan is actively unreliable. Trauma will be as much antagonist as any external villain. To see Logan wrestle with identity and unlock truth is a compelling thread. If done right, it gives narrative stakes beyond punching the next bad guy. Easter eggs from comics. If you freeze the trailer frame by frame, you'll catch subtle callbacks to classic X-Men lore, posters, graffiti, costume motifs, logos, and nods to famous comic outfits and characters. Whether it's a variant of his yellow-blue suit, hidden signboards referencing X-Men organizations, or nods to comic battles, these references are gifts to fans. They tell us the developers aren't dismissing the comics, they're celebrating them. Let's explore a few of them. First off, the setting itself is a big one. Logan's hanging out in Madripoor at none other than the Princess Bar, which is ripped straight from the comics and ties into his Patch alias days. If you look around, there are signs for Lowtown, which is Madripoor's seedy district, and even a poster that says Radio Lowtown 104.8 FM, and fans think that 104.8 is a cheeky nod to Earth. 1048, the same universe as Insomniac's Spider-Man games. How cool is that? Now, here's a blink and you'll miss it detail. The license plate in the bar reads HLK181, which is a direct reference to Incredible Hulk number 181, the comic where Wolverine first appeared. Are there any we've missed? Let us know your insights in the comments down below. Comic accurate costume or not? one detail fans will argue about: how much Logan's getup mirrors his comic looks. The costume nods to the classic design color palette, paneling, but it's weathered, tactical, armored. It feels lived in, not heroic cosplay. It's somewhat of a mix of old and new, and that deviation is intentional. The developers want a recognizable silhouette, but one that fits the realism and brutality of this world. Clothes need to survive fights, take damage, conceal gear. It's a balance. Homage plus practicality. New enemy factions. Beyond Sentinels and Reavers, we see hints of new enemy groups. Some faceless troops don patches we don't immediately recognize. Corporate markings, unfamiliar insignias, corporate-looking outfits, men in lab coats or black ops gear, or maybe experimental operators. The trailer seems to hint at factions beyond classic villains, possibly private military firms or corporate science ops. Introducing new enemy factions can prevent predictability. It also gives the writers flexibility, new threats, new tech, and deeper conspiracy. Logan might be uncovering not just his past, but a web of evolving powers. Insomniac's signature storytelling. One thing consistent across Insomniac Games is cinematic flair. In fact, what they nailed in their Spider-Man series was cinematic pacing, emotional beats, cutscenes blending into gameplay, and layered storytelling. The Wolverine trailer shows us they're bringing that same ambition, but remixed for darker themes. The trailer teases that here too there will be dramatic angles, slow-mo, environmental drama, and interwoven dialogue. We see transitions, flashbacks, juxtaposed past and present, and moments of silence before the gore. This isn't just hack and slash. It appears crafted to hit emotional beats. If Insomniac can combine blockbuster spectacle with Logan's internal pathos, it could be one of the best character-driven superhero games yet. Release date and PS5 exclusivity. Finally, the trailer and press confirm Marvel's Wolverine will launch on PlayStation 5 in fall 2026. Unfortunately, yes, it's a PS5 exclusive, at least at launch. That's a bold move, but Sony clearly sees X-Men as a tentpole for their Marvel portfolio. There's no exact day yet, but fall 2026 gives us direction. Insomniac says more details will drop in spring 2026. At this point, the lack of a specific day feels deliberate anticipation is part of the experience. For the PS5 audience, this is huge. For multiversal fans, it raises speculation whether this exists in continuity with the Spider-Man games. Some leaks and rumors suggest Insomniac sees them as sharing a universe, but that's not confirmed yet. Marvelous verdict. So, there you have it. The Wolverine trailer is a powerful promise. It roots us in Canada, teases Weapon X and memory trauma, drops cameos like Mystique, Omega Red, and Sentinels, and promises brutal, mature combat in global locales like Japan and Madripoor. The choice to tone down open world and lean into structured cinematic storytelling feels deliberate. With Liam McIntyre voicing Logan and narrative stakes tied to identity and betrayal, this could be one of the most emotionally resonant superhero games ever. Fall 2026 can't come soon enough. Let me know which Easter egg you caught, and as always, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest news in the gaming world and other fun breakdowns. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.